There are only 4 steps to healing through any phobia or any trauma or even any anxiety or panic attacks, and that's what I'm going to explain in this video. I'm going to give you the overview, 50,000 foot view of how that actually works, because like I said before, if you're watching this video, you've probably tried many of the things. I mean, I don't know anyone who lands on my page, my YouTube, my Instagram, any of my channels, or finds me in general, who hasn't tried basically everything, because I'm usually this wacky guy who has insane ideas and talks like a trucker, but also just committed to getting you results. And I'll do whatever it takes to do that, including splash water on your face if that's what it takes and you're in person with me working together. So I want to help you break the pattern so that you can reclaim your life and live your life to the best of your ability. Do you want to grow your business? Do you want to have a better relationship? Do you just want to get on the fucking plane or get in the car and travel? Right? Do you want to be able to eat food without feeling like this contamination? What is it that you want? I want you to be able to break that pattern in your nervous system and get out there and live your life. So with that being said, I'm going to give you the 4 specific things that you need to do that have to be in place in order for you to get from where you are right now with this trauma and phobia response to where you want to be, which is living your damn life, having a great quality of life without needing to wonder if you're going to have an anxiety attack when you go out there and live your life. Here's the worst part. Let's take a pause on this whole video. This was not planned in my mind, but it just came up. This is why I'm so passionate about helping you overcome traumas and phobias and things of that nature. And the reason is because it's not like we are running into, what scares us every single day. We're not running into balloons. We're not running into the water. We're not always, really up high of a height phobia. We're not always in super small rooms, claustrophobia. We're not always, walking by the guy who sexually abused us, or an authority figure if we're terrified of authority figures, or, we're not always driving our car. We're not always doing the thing that scares us, going like on flights. We're not always doing that. But the anticipation in our mind of possibly running into that stresses us out enough. And so we're thinking about it for like 6 hours a day, for every day, for months and years. And so getting rid of these feelings and fears and thoughts reclaims years and possibly decades, depending on how long it's been for you, of your life. So why do I have the privilege or the authority, so to speak, to tell you? I'm just giving the authority to myself. And what do I mean by that? I don't come from traditional school. I'm not a psychologist or a counselor or a psychiatrist or anything like that. The reason I'm delivering value like this to you on a regular basis to solve all of your problems regarding these challenges is simply because I want to gain your trust. I want you to see that you can really trust me to solve your challenges. Because I'm not a trained therapist. I do train therapists and psychologists and coaches, but I'm not trained in any of this traditionally. I was self-taught. I'm just a passionate kid, well now 28 years old, but I'm just a passionate dude who wants to help people. And I learned some things that really help. And that is this. In order to relieve these feelings long-term, there's only 4 steps, and I promise you this is it. No matter what you actually do specifically to make these 4 things happen, these are the 4 things that need to happen. The first step is we must retrain your brain. Now you're like, well, that's a massive step. What do I do? That's not what this video is about. This is the conceptual understanding of the steps that we need to go through to make this work. And if ever you take a process that doesn't do any of these 4, or only does 1 of these 4 or 2 of these 4, it will not work. These 4 have to be in place. The first one is to retrain your brain. And what do I mean by that? I mean, if you're feeling anxious, it's not the thing externally that's making you feel anxious. It's not the plane. If it was the plane, the physical plane or the flying of the plane that actually made you feel anxious, everybody on the plane would be anxious because it would be the plane doing it, right? In the same way, if you have a terrifying fear of getting on a sales call, it's not the call in enrolling a client that freaks you out. There's something going on up here in your nervous system that is freaking you out. Otherwise, every salesperson and business person would be terrified of the phone, right? If it's water, it's not the water, because then everyone would be terrified. I think you're starting to see a theme here, right? If you are terrified or have a phobia or a trauma of something specific, you have specific triggers, it's not the external thing. It's the way that your nervous system is currently wired. So the first thing that we have to do is get the triggers out of your nervous system so that you can face whatever this thing is, and at most you feel like, just a little bit of nerves, but just enough nerves where you can go, all right. And just that little smirk, that little breath, and you can face it like no problem at all. Not where you're like really struggling and faking, but where you're good to go. You can face it and you can get past it. You can live your day. You're not thinking about it 24/7. That's the first step. If you walk out of a therapy session, or you walk out of counseling, or listen to a podcast, or buy a book, buy a book too, but buy a course online, and you don't walk out of that session or that lesson feeling like you might be able to approach this specific thing, then nothing worked. We at minimum have to have you being able to think about the situation and feel better. And then think about it again and be like, it's not bothering me like it usually does. That's the first step, okay? The second step is you have to face the fear. Now, here's what's interesting about this. Most of you right now are like, what the fuck? Or sorry, you right now are like, no fucking way. No, not doing it. But when the nervous system is retrained, like rewired, only once my clients can look back at the thought and go, I'm not bothered by it, do I put them in that situation. If they think about it and still go, that they're not ready to do it. Because here's the thing, facing the fear is not exposure therapy. Not when you do it this way. Exposure therapy rarely works. What does work is your brain processing the fear differently so that you're not afraid of it anymore, and then entering the environment. If it's a plane, get a fucking plane ticket. Go face the fear. If it's driving, go get in the car. Now here's the beauty of this. You have full control of how, like if it's a car, for example, you have full control of you slowly walking up to the car, breathing, and then getting into the front seat, and then just, like, you don't need to just go do the whole thing and get on a highway right away. You can take your time and retrain your nervous system as you slowly enter the environment. But with a retrained brain, it's a lot easier to do that. So that's the second piece. You got to face the thing. We got to test to see that this actually worked. This is why I guarantee my clients results. 1 or 2 sessions, your fear will be gone. You'll be able to face it no problem. And part of what I offer my clients is actually guiding their hand as they face the fear. Because we want to make sure that your nervous system is trained, is processing it well. And if you can do it once, you can do it again and again and again on your own, because the brain will generalize. Oh, well, I did it like this. I did this bridge. Well, this bridge is bigger, but there's still bridges. Our brain will unconsciously do that. So we don't need to do this for every situation. Do it for one, and you'll be good to go. So what's step 3? Step 3 is that we have to maintain our emotional state while we face the trigger. Let me be very clear on this. Just because we retrain your brain does not mean you're not gonna, say if you're driving over a bridge and you used to like completely freak out, that doesn't mean you're gonna go like, this is awesome. It doesn't mean that. You're probably just gonna go over it and have a bit of a chuckle or a bit of calmness, and you might, for a moment, go, right? It's not gonna be like perfect, but this is why step 3 is maintaining your emotional state. Here's why I say that. It's very simple, by the way. Like if you're going over the bridge, you just smile and breathe. Shake your body out a bit. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do, right? Or you can, like in your mind, you can see that like everything that you're seeing on the bridge, you can just push it further away in your mind so you're a little bit more dissociated from it. So you're not fully associated like this, but it's more out there in your mind. Very easy to do that, but the point of the matter is this. The reason you have to maintain your emotional state while you face this fear, or what was a fear, is because we need to associate from your nervous system to the environment. We need to associate that safety and the good emotional state. If you allow yourself, or even on purpose, pent yourself up and start freaking out and go, it didn't work, this guide, these 4 steps didn't work. It's not that they didn't work. It's that this is part of the process. You have to maintain it as you go through. And then next time it'll be simple, next time more simple, next time you won't even think about it. So that's the third piece. If you do that once and you just push through it like that while maintaining the state, not just doing this, okay, we're almost done. No. I'm talking like, okay, this is a little nerve-wracking, but I got this. This is cool. If you do that, you'll have no problem. And the fourth and final step is simply rewarding yourself once you've done it. I know it sounds cheesy, being like, high five me, or pat on the back, or just, acknowledging yourself internally, like, I did that, right? Or whatever it is, a hug, I don't care, right? The reason that that's important is because the nervous system only moves towards things that feel good and away from discomfort. High achievers like you and I, we tend to beat ourselves up when things don't go exactly the way we planned them to go, or when we don't reach our personal standard. We're like, damn it, Tyler, come on, dude. And if you did better, you got to reward yourself, because your nervous system learns, oh, do more of that. That felt good. I got rewarded for it. Do more of that. It's like training my duck or training your dog. It's the same thing. Anything with the nervous system, including you, we have to reward ourselves when we do the thing that we've been wanting to do for a while. So, if you take this video and you go do that, we retrain your nervous system. I'll explain how specifically in another video. And if you go to my Instagram at tyler.charlebois, I have so many posts there, it's insane. Go check out the highlights. Every day I give more value than I do connection posts. I give more value than I do anything else, a proof of my other clients succeeding. I just give value. And I actually will guide you through how to do this specifically, but I also have YouTube videos that'll show you that too. So any of my content, I promise outside of this video, it'll walk you through step by step for the most part. It's like 50% that, 50% other stuff. So a lot of it, you'll be able to find it quickly. The point of the matter is, go use these processes to retrain how your brain is processing the event, the stimulus that is setting you off. Then go face the thing, whatever it might be, take your time with it, enter the environment, just stay present, notice how safe you are around you, breathe as you do it, maintain your state, and reward yourself. You will be dumbfounded how fast this helps you. So drop a comment down below if this was helpful and if you learned anything new. And if you're looking for my help, DM me on any of my socials the word trauma or phobia, and I will learn more about you and see if I can help.